Hi everyone, this is Emmy Bitter and I'm assigned this week to do the presentation for Google Analytics and search engine optimization, which is also known as SEO. And so here we are. We're going to start with Google Analytics. So what is Google Analytics? And this is a free online tool from Google that lets you install a small JavaScript snippet on your site that lets you see information about your visitors. And it also monitors each visit and sends the data back to Google, where it's processed and put into graphs and other visualizations that allow you to see exactly who's coming to your site and what they're doing. So, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. So first we have to define what analytics is, and that's measuring your business goal, understanding your performance and finding ways to optimize and improve that performance. And it talks about, critical parts that happen when this is, the analytics is going on. In part, it is the idea of continuous improvement. So we want to improve our goal, our website, whatever it is that we're trying to analyze. It's a process, and we first perform the measurement, apply the analytics, and learn from what we see that it's changing. And in this world today, the digital tools change so often that we need to make sure that that the site or the digital tools that we have don't become stale. So we want to have basically to make sure that we have a site that is always performing at its best. Some key definitions about digital analytics sphere is the metrics and dimensions. Metrics is the quantitative numbers that are measuring data and counts, ratios, percentages, and the likes. Okay. Dimensions are the qualitative categories that describe the data in segments or breakouts. Page views are the views on a page within your site. The number of page views acts as a count for every time a visitor loads the page. Page tracking hit and event tracking hit is an on-site activity you choose, such as clicking a button or even scrolling down a page. So those are ways that they can be tracked when you go on a site. The user is obviously the person that visits the site. It's also identified by a client ID. Attribution, this is the process of where the user came from and how they convert to your site. So how they actually go to your site and stay there and surf the information they need to look for. 2 requirements for tracking data. One is the cookies. They identify individual website users and gather data as users travel through the site. And JavaScript tracking code. And this is a code that you're given in the when you set up your Google account. You're given a code that you will be, it's basically a global site tag, and you will copy paste this code to your HTML, the head area on your HTML. That's so that they can use, this code is used to track your site, and then you can go back to Google Analytics and look at that data that is being pulled from your site. Okay. You can install Google. This is just a quick rundown on how to do that. You go to analytics.google.com, set up an account, a free account, and once you type down your site name or whatever it is that your site description on there, you select web as your account, and it takes you to a tracking ID code page. Make sure you copy that tracking ID. You'll be asked for it later when you come back to visit the site, so it's good to have in hand. And also copy the global site tag, which is the JavaScript that we talked about earlier. And that's what you're going to copy paste to your site, to the HTML, the head, into the head area and you have to do that on every web page. And this is basically what it looks like when you create your page and you're taken to that page where you're given that global site tag, and you copy paste that JavaScript. A quick rundown of data tracking, the process of this. Basically, the data travels through the user's cookie to report to Google Analytics. And then from there, it is, first of all, you have to embed the JavaScript tag to your HTML. And in order to track that user through your website. So when the user enters the site in their browser, they access your web server, and this is going to return the HTML of your browser, that we use to show that website to the user. Then after that, we after embedding that JavaScript tracking code into the cookies, and it collects that anonymous information about the user from the website. It continues the journey across the site, and a little tracking happens there. And then it takes that information and it sends it over to the Google Analytics servers. And this is where the powerful data centers where Google processes all the raw data about your user. After you've done this, or this process happens, then you can go ahead and track what how many clicks your user has done on your website and things like that. And it goes into a little bit more in depth, but that's just a basic information on Google Analytics. Now for what is an SEO, search engine optimization. This is basically the process of making improvements on and off your website in order to gain more exposure in search engine results. More exposure in search engine results will ultimately lead to more visitors finding you for the right reasons. So the goal of a search engine is to find and understand all the content out there on the internet and then quickly deliver relevant solutions or results based on any phrase the user might be searching for. And some examples are, when a user searches for something like Idaho hotels, the search engine will analyze the web page that user has ever visited and picks out the pages that they believe are most relevant to Idaho hotels. They determine this information by how the content is written and implemented in the code, as well as how other websites around the internet are linking to you. So, some of the influences of of a search engine is authority. One of the things that is very important is your website a trusted website or a trusted place. Websites linked to you, which basically what this means is, if your site is a trusted site, you'll see people linking from other websites to yours. So basically providing a link of your website on their page so that people can click on it and go to your website. That shows that that person liked it so much that is well trusted and they're willing to share that link. The reviews are great as well. And these have to be trustworthy as well. You know, like it says here, it's not a competition, so you can't abuse the votes and the links. You basically have to have quality and relevant information to have a link on your site. You'll see things like paid listings on when you search. These are different from organic and natural listings. They're advertisements that programs like Google Ads allows to bid on, and they're placed at the top of your search page. And you probably are familiar with that. When you search on something, you'll see ads first, and then you'll see the actual natural organic listings. Blended searches are searches that have variety of things that show up, like videos, images, and new links or maps. And this is what that looks like. This is what an ad search result will look like with the ad sign next to the listing. And this is what a blended search result would look like, where you have different things like images, links, and also videos or a map. Optimizing keyword tools. Keywords is what researchers or searchers type into a search engine. The search engine like Google goes out and fetches the data or the most relevant result and the best content on the entire internet, so that they can give you the best specific result. Brainstorm keywords. Put yourself in the searcher's shoes. So basically, when you're brainstorming for keywords to put on your data, you want to be able to be in their shoes. You basically want to play the role of the customer and basically know what it is that they're trying to search. Google Search Console offers insight into exactly how people are finding your site today. Google Trends and Answer the Public. This is another tool. These are tools that both expand on keywords and offer suggestions around the new target phrases. Basically, you can make a list of these keywords, and then you go to Google Trends or Answer the Public, and they can expand more on those keywords and offer you more suggestions. Understanding keyword attributes. Relevance to your site or business. Does it reflect the nature of the product or services? Search volume, the number of searches being done for a particular keyword in a given time period, and competition or keyword difficulty, a measure of how difficult it is going to be for you to rank for a keyword in front of other competition on the search engine results. So, basically you want your keywords to be relevant to your site and be able to rank also from your competitor. And content optimization. This is the process of improving the quality and relevancy of your site's content. Clarity and quality. People and search engines want to know without any hesitation what your content is all about, and content they can trust. An example of this is basically, if you want to be as relevant to your site when you're putting in content on there. Because if a customer goes into your website and they're searching for example, for skateboards, and you have an article in there about the beach, it's not really going to interest them. So it's not very relevant to what your site is trying to offer if you're a skateboard site. So you want to have those key concepts in there and that clarity and quality so that the customer can come back and visit your site. The key concepts on here are, again, building that trust with the user so they can come back and visit your site, and focusing on relevant themes. These are some helpful tools that I found on the website, or on the actual presentation when researching. Some of the tools that you can use to come up with, to help you come up with keywords